Hey toy fans, pickers, and so much more. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Flea Market Finds right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. I'm your host, Devall. This show is all about giving you an idea of what I find in my trips on garage sales, flea markets, antique malls, sometimes the Evil Bay, and so much more. And the things that I find are really, really cool. Now I got some cool stuff for you today, but I'm going to start out with actually something a little big. Now, in the late 80s, early 90s, when Pee-wee's Playhouse was huge, Matchbox actually had the toy license to do a Pee Wee Herman toy line. And one of the things they did was actually one of the rare pieces that I've seen this go at toy shows for 50 to 60 bucks sometimes a little lower, maybe 30. Just depends on the dealer and probably what they paid for it in the end. But we were at an antique mall in St. Louis, and we happened across a big, they had a big room of nothing but glass cabinets. And inside this cabinet, this one dealer just had toys shoved in there, just bags of stuff. And we unlocked it, had them unlock it, started digging through it. And one of the things that caught our eye, and I was like, I want to see what the price of that is because I'm curious, was a very, very cool 2-pack. And that 2-pack was Pee Wee Herman with his scooter and helmet. Now, the front of the card's got some writing on it. It's got some sticker wear. It's got some bends and creases, some pieces, It's been nicked and knacked here and there. The back's in beautiful shape, actually. Great graphics, great idea of everything that was released. But this, to have both the scooter, the helmet, and Pee-wee in a 2-pack, as I said, is one of the more rare pieces. And when we pulled it out, they had a price tag on it for 15 bucks. And I was like, well, I'm gonna buy that because we had seen earlier just a single carded version of Pee-wee and the magic screen, and they wanted 25 bucks a piece for them. So, Carrie and I immediately grabbed this, picked it up, and I was like, well, this is going home with us because this is very cool. This is one of those cool 2-packs that I always wanted as a kid. There was only 2 ways you could get the scooter. One of them was in this 2-pack, which was super rare and you could never find it. And the other one was by buying Pee-wee's Playhouse playset, because it actually came with the scooter and the helmet and everything. That was pretty cool. Actually, I don't know if it came with this helmet. I think this might have been the only way to get his helmet, which was the big eyeball, crazy looking helmet. So very, very cool, very neat. Very glad to find this. Very glad to add it to my collection. I haven't decided. I'm going to try to clean the card up a little bit because it is really dirty and grimy. If I can't, I may carefully open this and display him loose and keep the card in the card back because it's still a very, very cool card and card back. So very neat, very cool find. I got a few stuffed animals for you this time around, and this harkens back to the summer when we were out and about looking, and we actually found 2 of the 3 of these that were released, but we found Huey and Louie, and these were actually released for DuckTales in the 80s. These were actually some of the licensed product that was released for the show, and of course it was Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and I'm just missing Dewey, and they were boxed. These were boxed, they had an open face box. They sat in their boxes like this on the shelf, and you could buy all 3, and I think all they made was Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Very, very cool to find though. They were in really nice shape, really clean, no dirt marks or anything, especially for, most of them is white, and they get dirty real quick. So these were very cool to find, very, very fun. I think we paid a whole whopping buck a piece for them. So one of these days we'll come across to Dewey. It's just a matter of patience and persistence, and Dewey will show up at our doorstep more than likely. But very neat, very cool. They didn't make a whole lot of licensed product for DuckTales, at least toy-wise, so these were kind of cool to find and go, oh yeah, they did make stuffed animals for DuckTales. So very, very neat, very cool. DuckTales, woo, do, 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 do. Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo, do. Let's move on. I'm always fascinated when I find Rainbow Brite stuff because when you usually come across it, it's pretty disgusting. The doll's hairs are all messed up because let's face it. Rainbow Brite, of course, was a major, major girls' toy line in the 80s, and girls played the heck out of them. They combed their hair, they cut their hair. I've only found a couple instances in the wild where I found complete Rainbow Brites, and they always want a lot of money for them. Luckily, I have a complete Rainbow Brite with Twink, her little sprite, and Starlight the horse, and I have some other random sprites, but we were at a Goodwill here in town. And I always dig through the stuffed animals because, again, you never know what's going to be hiding in there. And one of the things I found was I actually found Puppy Brite from Rainbow Brite. And this is the original release of Puppy Brite. This is very, very cool to find. It was very neat. In beautiful condition, just clean as can be, gorgeous. And something that I had kind of wanted for a while. I kind of wanted Puppy Brite because Puppy Brite was not really a major part of the show, but showed up on the show from time to time. And he's, come on, he's kind of cute. Look at him, for God's sakes. He's a little puppy, he's a little rainbow colored puppy. Anyway, so I paid a whole whopping $2 for him. But it was very cool to find it, and all I saw was this end sticking out, and immediately I knew what it was. I'm like, that's Puppy Brite from Rainbow Brite. I know that. Actually, it's sad that I know that butt anywhere. Stop thinking weird things, people. It's not that weird. Anyway, very, very cool thing to add to my collection. And then while we were out and about, I found a couple of sprites. I found, this is actually one of the, he's kind of beat up, his little string's a little beat up, but this was one of the, Taco Bell did a promotion where you could go and buy these little sprites, and they squeak, and they had like little stories attached to them. I've got a couple other ones of these, and this one I didn't have yet. His face is a little dirty, he's got to be cleaned up. Other than that though, he's in pretty good condition other than his little string being busted. So he doesn't hang anymore, because you used to be able to hang these from like your rear view mirror and stuff. So very, very neat, very cool. And then I found Red Butler's sprite. Red Butler was one of the color kids. He was, well, basically he was the big red. Anyway, I found one of the big sprites that they sold, and they sold these separately. These were also kind of boxed in an open face box on a shelf. His face is super dirty. He actually overall is pretty disgusting. I might just throw him in the wash and pray and hope to God that he comes out 100% okay, because he's kind of nasty. But again, he was in a box for like $1, and I was like, well, even though he's dirty, I'm still gonna buy him because I can probably clean him up for better or worse. But still really cool. Some cool little Rainbow Brite stuff to add to. I've got a little Rainbow Brite shelf that's been growing as I find this stuff here and there, nilly-willy. So very cool, very neat stuff. Let's move on. Last of the stuffed animals for this episode, I promise. The Popples were a very, very cool little toy line that was created by Hallmark Cards in the 80s. And they were just basically these cute little puffin balls that would basically go from ball, and they'd unroll themselves and become these cute little animals. And I found a couple, this little Popple, and I think this is, I don't remember which Popple this is, but very cool, very neat. I mean, they just roll up into a little ball, just like the show, in a little pouch, and you know, become little balls, and then you can unravel them, and they become little Popples. I got a couple of Popples. I got a couple big ones, a couple small ones. This is a really cool, cute little one. She's just a little dirty, but again, nothing that can't be cleaned. These kind of things, I can throw in the wash and throw a dryer on a low dry, and basically clean her up because she needs it. And then we were at a little antique mall here in town, in this little bag of toys. And as I'm looking in this bag of little Happy Meal, you know, kids meal toys, I didn't see a whole lot, but I did see something that I hadn't seen in a long time. And it was basically a teeny tiny little Popple. He's got little posable arms and little posable legs. I mean, just super, super tiny. And you know, just like the other ones, he too rolls into his ball. Like so, becomes a little ball of a Popple. And then you just unravel him back out, like shoe, and you got your little Popple figure back. These were kind of cute. I forgot they did these. I want to say these were probably sold in most grocery store, like, checkout aisles and stuff like that. But I mean, I paid $1 for the bag, and this was really the only thing I wanted out of it, which kind of sucks. But again, I was like, all I want is that Popple. That's neat. So some cool little Popple items to add to the collection. I bet you didn't know Popples were cannibals, huh? It's a scary world out there, people. It's scary. Let's move on. Let's go back to the realm of action figures. I think I've talked about GoBots before and how they're kind of looked down upon by most of the collecting community as a poor man's version of Transformers, which is kind of sad because GoBots actually preceded Transformers in the toy aisles by many months. Yes, they were cheaper. Yes, they weren't as intricate or as cool looking, but there were a lot of neat stuff that they did in the GoBots line. GoBots was the first line to do combiner figures in America at the States before Voltron came out, before Transformers did it with the Constructicons. They were the first ones to do it with the Puzzler figure that I've shown off in one of the early episodes. And they did this really cool line of like little power suits that you could put GoBots into, and then there was a big spaceship, and all the power suits, the 4 power suits would form the arm and the legs, and the spaceship came with the feet and the hands and the guns and everything, and the spaceship formed the body. Well, I actually found the power suit spaceship, the Guardian armored spaceship. This is very, very cool, very neat. He is, I mean, the box is a little dinged up, but if you open it up, he literally, I've taken him out and played with him, of course, but he has never been touched. The stickers are beautiful. All the pieces are there, both the little guns, both the gun attachment pieces, his fists, the feet are there. This is a very, very cool item. And again, it's something that, as I said, you know, if you just keep looking and keep digging, you're bound to find something very amazing. I paid a whole whopping 10 bucks for this, and I've seen it go on eBay for upwards of $50 in this condition. They sold a gift set with this and the 4 suits in a bigger box, and of course that goes for like 80 to 90 bucks depending on the seller and, you know, who's really out there after it. Very, very cool item. My GoBots collection is kind of growing. I kind of feel, I guess I don't feel bad for them. I had a ton of GoBots when I was a kid because, you know, I came from a lower middle class family. We didn't have the money for Transformers, so I got GoBots a lot of times, as well as Transformers like on my birthday and Christmas and stuff. And GoBots really hold a special place in my heart because there are some very, very cool, very ingenious designs that they did for GoBots. And while, like I said, they're not as intricate or as long-standing in the pop culture mindset as Transformers, these really, really do deserve a nice home. And there are a lot of collectors out there that collect GoBots, and there's a lot of cool pieces, but this is one of my favorite. And I really, really love how it can form together to form the big power protector suit GoBot. It's kind of cool. So really cool find, really nice. Let's move on. Got another lunchbox for you this time. No thermos, but I've made no secret that I'm a huge Little Mermaid fan. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, one of my favorite characters, and I've got a huge like Little Mermaid collection. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I collect My Little Ponies too, so what are you gonna do, people? I'm eccentric. What can I say? Really? Are you surprised? No. I found a really cool Little Mermaid Ariel lunchbox that I actually didn't have. I've got a couple of lunchboxes. They made a few different ones. And this one, the sticker was in really nice shape. The lunchbox itself is a little dinged up on the tops, a little scraped up, but not bad. No thermos, which is kind of sad. No thermos. But thermoses are actually something you can find quite a bit of and a lot of on eBay. If you look, you actually can find them. So something I'll keep my eyes out. I think we paid $4 for this lunchbox, which is a little more than we'd like to pay sometimes for lunchboxes in the wild. Usually we get them for $1, $2, $3 maybe. I know it's sad. $4 is a lot for us. Hey, I'm a bargain hunter. What can I say? But very, very neat, very cool. This is something that'll go up for now in my Little Mermaid collection. Once I get my shelves along my wall for my lunchboxes, it'll go up with the lunchboxes. So very, very cool. Let's move on. Well, let's end this episode like I like to with a board game. This is actually a really, really old board game. It's from 1963. It's complete. I think it's missing a couple dice, but it's not a big deal. You can always supplement dice. And it's actually missing, which the previous owner actually supplemented some little tokens. But I found the Beverly Hillbillies game, which is in pretty good condition. Like I said, it's missing a couple pieces. Carrie and I actually sit down and played this. Standard Toycraft, which isn't in business anymore, made this game in '63, around the time of the height of the popularity of the Beverly Hillbillies. Very, very neat, very cool kind of idea of a game. Basically, you go around and you try to collect all of you try to collect all these pieces, and then you go through the mansion and you try to lay them down and get all of your pieces laid down before your opponent in the mansion, and then you add up all the points, and whoever's got the most points wins. Not really a complicated game, but at first it takes a little getting used to because games like this aren't made anymore, really. You just don't get to play stuff like this. But kind of neat, kind of cool. Again, this was something I found at a garage sale for like $3. So very happy to find this and have this and play it. So another cool board game to add to my board game collection. There you go, gang. That brings us to the end of another episode of Flea Market Finds right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. It helps us out tremendously. Just go to YouTube, or at the start of this video, or right now even, click the subscribe button. Just click subscribe. It'll subscribe automatically. You'll get all the great updates of great Toy World Order videos, including more Flea Market Finds, including all new shows this year, including reviews of vintage toys as well as new toys. So just depends on what we're putting out that week is what you get in your mailbox. You can come watch us, check us out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Puppet Devall. It's real easy. Just go to Twitter, find me at Puppet Devall, and then hit follow. You'll find lots of great stuff. I got lots of great toy friends out there, people that I talk to, myself when I'm vocal. There's lots of great stuff going on there, so make sure you check that out. And make sure you go to ToyWorldOrder.com, sign up for the forums. It's absolutely free. All you gotta do is go there, sign up, and you can join in on all the conversations happening with the great people and great fans. Lots of cool stuff. Plus, you'll be at the head of all the great programming coming from ToyWorldOrder.com this year. So make sure you check that out. And gang, as I always say, make sure you keep digging because you never know what you're gonna find. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.